Hi, it's Dean Gardiner here from Oceanpaddler. I'm here with the CEO of Partners, Earl Evans, and we're going to talk today a little bit about Partners WA Race Week and all the events around the race week and what's happened in the past and what we can expect this coming year. So welcome, Earl.
Yeah, pleasure, mate. It's going to be good.
It's going to be a big year.
Yeah, it is. Excited. Really excited.
So we had a little bit of a rough patch last year with the doctor not really turning out the way we would have liked it to turn out. What's your thoughts on that?
Look, it's like anything. I think we started in 2019. That's the concept of the whole week, right? Like you can't control the weather at the end of the day. Like that's just life. You know, I've been to plenty of motor races where I've had to wear a hoodie and half the crowd's turned up because it's been absolutely pissing down with rain all weekend. That's just life, and it's the same with the wind. You know, I've done a number of Molokai. I remember the first 2 years we did it, it was absolutely a mill pond, not even a breath and 40 degrees. So I think last year that was disappointing. I've done it now close to 10 years. I think that was my 9th year. That was my 8th year. So this will be my 9th. And first couple of years there, again, flooders attack, but everyone else has been ripping. Last year was the first time that was probably, that was a really difficult decision. But if you go back to the concept of the whole week, the Saturday was absolutely honking. Monday was phenomenal. Remember that you and I did the double. That was incredible. Yep. Tuesday was good, and it sort of slipped a little bit downhill from there. So that's just luck of the draw. But, if you're a statistics guy, this year's going to be the year. Like it'll be the year that, 20 people won't come because they were pissed off with last year, and you have to accept that. And they'll sit back, and that'll be the one that they regret. That's why I kept going back to Molokai every year going, it is going to turn it on at one point. And it did in the 3rd year. And it was worth the first 2 being failures. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's what we sort of hope. Like when I look at the event over the last, it's been going now since 2002, we've had 4 years that I think we could call average. We've had 2 absolute shockers, and one of them was last year. And then 2016, we had a very, very flat year. The only other really, really bad one was the very first year. So for 20 years, we've basically had 80% have been phenomenal.
If you look at the entries that are coming in already, they're just absolutely smashing it. They're going unbelievable. So it's going to be a massive year again. If you look at the Hood River, I remember the first time I went to the Hood River, I was sitting on the balcony at I can't remember the hotel, Best Western or whatever it was. There was not a breath of breeze for the first 3 days. It was like, again, it was a mill pond, and it was meant to be, washing up all the time and the wind phenomenal. Now it turned out to be that was the case for the race, but for the early part of the week it was pretty terrible. And I think it was the case this year as well. This is it's a weather-dependent sport. But I think what makes a doctor so good, particularly in that part of the world and why it's been so successful, is because the wind does kick in. The doctor kicks in generally 8 out of 10 days. At sort of 1 or 2 p.m. it starts to build up, and that's why the location was chosen, and it's been a huge success in the past, and it'll continue to be a huge success going forward. Last year down to a bad experience. That's life. Shit happens. Yeah.
So what we got this year, the first race in the program is the Fen West Coast Downwinder, which has been going now for quite a few years and been a partner of the Partners WA Race Week. We go into the Sunday. We have that awesome...
So just on the Saturday, that's 23K, right?
That's 23K, yeah.
Awesome.
And then on the Sunday, we have that awesome Race 1 Partners Nipper Clinic, which I think for me is one of the highlights of the week, and that's on the Sunday morning.
Well, how many people we get there? How many kids we get there?
We had about 1,000 kids last year, which was
unbelievable.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, unbelievable. And it's a nice way to put back into the sport, right? Like it's a bit of a, this thing started off as just surf skis, and as we did last year, it's broken out into, we did the board, and you're going to make some announcements shortly as well, which is great. But we brought that in, and I think the first year we did it, we started. Did we do it not at Cottesloe? Where did we do it?
We did it at
City Beach. City Beach. And we had like 200 nippers.
Yeah.
To get 1,000 last year just goes to show you, right?
Phenomenal.
So, yeah, incredible. Awesome. Yeah.
And then on the Sunday afternoon, which we have, this year we have the Partners Downwind International, which is a new event we're introducing. We want to try and capture that prone paddleboard group of paddlers and also the double skis. So the two categories in that particular race, which goes from City Beach to Sorrento, a 12K, is double skis and prone paddleboards, which will be a new event. You and I spoke about this, a couple of months ago, and you were happy to jump in and support it. So that means you and I might have to partner up for the double ski race again.
I'm pretty happy with that, just quietly.
So that should be a good little race. And the beauty of that one is the paddlers have to stay within 200 metres of the shore.
Yep.
So it's going to run straight down the coast and finish at Sorrento, which we all know so well as a great finishing venue. We all pile into the big tent after and have a few drinks and whatever and tell everyone how good we were. On the Monday is a bit of a lay day for, competition. Everyone gets up to whatever they want to do. But you and I had an awesome run last year's Monday.
That was one of the best paddles I've ever done. That was phenomenal. That was worth being there just for that. That was incredible on that Monday. Yeah. And I know there was lots of other people that did paddles as well that said the same thing. That was like honking so good.
It was absolutely incredible for those that were there. The guys that did the snapper run, and then we did a run to Burns Beach, which incidentally I thought was a beach, but it was actually rocks. Some of the
I think there was somebody got lost on the rocks, didn't they? I think so.
I think we had a person that got lost a little bit there, but that was a fantastic run. The Tuesday we go into the Dr. Benjamin Hewitt event at City Beach, and that happens on Tuesday and Thursday, which we're very familiar with again. And then on the Wednesday, last year we introduced...
And what's that? That's 10K, right?
That's 10 or 12K, yeah. 12K, let's say 12K from Fremantle to City Beach.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, we introduced the Race 1 Twilight Dash, which was the paddleboard race, 2K.
Yeah.
And we managed to pick up about 130 entrants in that, which was a bit of a surprise, but it was fantastic that it was so well supported.
Yeah.
And Paddy Lee and Georgia Miller ran away with the wins in that one. And fortunately for them, you bumped up the prize money for them, and they both walked away with 10 grand each, which was fantastic. And I was stoked for both of them to be able to do that. Along with that, this year we're introducing an under-16 surf ski race as well. So the winners of the under-16 surf ski race, the girls and boys, both walk away with a brand new Fen ski valued at $4.5 grand each.
Awesome.
So
you're donating that, Oceanpaddler, which is awesome.
Oceanpaddler are doing that, yeah. Fantastic. So we've got to try and match your generosity somehow. But last year in the Twilight Paddleboard Dash, you gave, or we advertised $12,000, right? Yeah. And then the night before we were having dinner, and you said, I really like the concept. Let's up it a little bit. So it went from 12,000 to 40,000.
Oh dear, oh dear. So we're not doing that again this year, right? No.
Well, I haven't got it planned. I don't know.
Well, it was a great race. I mean, you bought the concept in, which was awesome. Again, 120. I think you'll have 200 plus, which is unreal. And I hear that it got a little bit of bad sort of few people. I think Macca might have mentioned the other day. A few people said it in his podcast or something. They were a bit unhappy about it, and the money should have gone on the ski race or something like that. I don't know if I heard that right, but if I did, it's good. It's good to upset a few people occasionally. That's good. And when it's your money, you can do what you want. When it's my money, I'll do what I want. But so what's the prize money now? 12,000.
12,000. Yeah.
And that's including the total pool of 280, right?
That's in the 280, yeah, correct.
So why don't we do something like that? Because it upset a few people. You always, you got to upset and ruffle a few feathers. Why don't we actually make it 40,000 like we did this year for the board race, which is just awesome. Let's chuck in 2 race 1 Brasher paddles for the winner of the under-16s as well as the ski. And why don't we actually give a Brasher paddle for second and third in the under-16 ski race? So why don't we give a race 1 Brasher paddle for first, second, and third. If you're obviously first in the boys and the girls, you get a ski as well, which you're kindly donating. We'll sort out the race 1. So who's paying for that? But let's put a Brasher paddle on each one of those. And why don't we make the board race 40? You give it some thought. And rather than it all goes on the first 3 positions, why don't we work out the prize money that it actually extends out to 10? So the top 10 girls and the top 10 boys all walk away with some cash, total prize pool of 40 grand.
So why don't we start at about 7.5 and finish it at 5? So that's the top 10, somewhere in that range.
Your call. You do the math. So you do whatever. I'm in for the money. Now that I know it's upset a few people, you've got to do it again. And let's make it 40 and away we go. So that's on the Wednesday night will be huge for the kids. So again, another great, I think anyway, another great initiative. You think up a lot of these ideas. I think bringing in the ski race for the 16s and under is awesome. Great opportunity. 16s? Yeah, 16s. Yep. A great opportunity. Top 3 walk away with basically a $1,000 paddle. Race 1 Surfcraft Brasher paddle, which would be awesome, or 850, whatever they're worth these days. And the winners obviously get a Fen ski, so they can either keep it and race the best ski in the world, or they can flog it and get some cash and go and get an epic if that's what they want to do. But go and do it. It'll be awesome.
But the most significant thing about that event, and this is because of your generosity, is the 20 grand that we have for the clubs. Yep. So at the end of that event, we pull out, everyone that enters puts their club name in. We pull their name out at the end, and the winning club picks up $10,000 worth of race 1 gear. Yep. Second gets $6,000 and third $4,000, which is
it's awesome.
Unreal for the local clubs.
It's really cool. It's great racing, right? Just great afternoon racing. So
yeah, well, we designed that race so one, it's easy and it's visual and it's easy for anyone to do. But also we price it from an entry perspective to very minimal. So for youngsters that want to go and do the race, they can jump into it. And, there's no huge real cost for the parents that might have 2 or 3 kids that want them to do this race. And then the benefit is the lucky draw. Their club might walk away with 10 grand worth of gear. So
it's good viewing. I mean, I walked virtually all of it last year. There's some great viewing points from the start all the way through. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's
really
a great
cool
part of the world.
Yeah.
Unreal, mate. That's incredible. That's going to blow the event out of the water. And
it takes the whole week over 300, right? 310,
we've gone over 300 grand now, which is
awesome.
The first time. So, wow, that's incredible. So,
wow.
And then we move into the Dash for Cash on the Friday. So that's one of my favourite events.
Yeah, likewise.
We start a couple hundred metres offshore. Last year we had a lot of the Olympic paddlers there. We hope that, they're all going to come over again this year, and 200-metre dash, run up the beach and watch the misery on people's faces as they're getting out of the water.
What's the prize money on that again?
So we have 15,000 on
right.
that. So the winner of the men's and women's, if they were to win all 3 races, they walk away with about 5 grand each. So
right. Great. Oh, fantastic.
But it just gives that edge, like a lot of the stuff we're doing is endurance stuff.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to bring, the sprint guys in and give them an event to do. And also from the spectators' perspective, they get to actually see what we do.
Yeah, and it's another event. It's a couple of hours out of your morning. It's great. You go and get a brekkie burger and a coffee and you sit back and watch it all. It's fantastic. So just another couple of hours, and it just adds to the whole colour of the whole week, really, at the end of the day. You can participate in it, or you can just, live through other people's eyes and watch it. So that's the awesome
fantastic
part.
Yeah, really good to watch. And it's one of my favourites. And, I'm an endurance paddler, and I just love the dash. It's really, really good to watch. And then the big one, the big tamale, the doctor on the Saturday. So this year we expect somewhere between 400 and 500 paddlers.
Yeah.
We've put a cap on it at 400, but we're happy to extend that a little bit, based on the competency of the paddlers. We're bringing foils into it this year. So Foil Drive through Justin Ryan have jumped on as a sponsor of the event, which will add a whole new facet to the event. Obviously, we'll be starting them well after the skis because they do cover that distance a hell of a lot quicker than the skis do. So that's going to bring another group of people that possibly wouldn't have done this event in the past into the fray and potentially, make the event bigger and more fun. And there is a big crossover between ski paddling and foiling. I was speaking to Dave Cassane this morning, who's recently, who was a great ski paddler. He got a couple of places in the doctor in the past, and he's now a foiler, so he's stoked to be coming on board and be doing that sort of stuff. So that's the new stuff we have.
But it's been good. We were just talking before, actually. This is our 9th year. It's our 9th year. Next year will be our 10th year actually partnering together and sponsoring, which I'm very proud of, like we do with Surf Lifesaving Australia and we've done with the Oceanpaddler World Ocean Series. One of the things, nothing's forever, but, for me, I've always had an aversion to, you go and do things for 1 or 2 years and then you disappear as a sponsor. For us, it's always been about longevity and good partnership, and it's really been absolutely awesome for that. So coming up next year to 10 year, this year will be our 9th. Which is great. It's been a great partnership. We met on that wonderful beach in Molokai back in 2016 or whatever it was. So I'm sure this year will be absolutely fantastic. And like I said, last year was a challenging one, but the first 3 or 4 days, you couldn't have paid for that. That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
That was just
Incredible.
Unbelievable. So
and
the Saturday, it's like 22, 23K. That's a reasonable paddle.
Yeah.
And that was hoinking as well. That was just, it was fantastic.
Yeah. So,
a lot planned, good events, good dinners, good barbecues, good breakfasts, all that sort of stuff. It's going to be a huge week.
Yeah, it's a massive week, and it's the one. I guess it's the one event that really brings the paddling community together across, a whole range of paddling disciplines, outriggers and paddleboards.
Who's your pick?
I can't go past Corey. Corey's, proven me to be the best out there, in a lot of races, and sometimes he's proven me wrong, and most of the time he's proven me right.
I think the interesting thing though, it's such a technical course. And Pat Dolan showed that this year that Corey's beatable,
Yeah.
but it's very technical. You know, if you go back a couple of years ago, Corey was odds-on favourite. The Saffers came up and I think got first, second, third. Like they completely towed everybody up.
Fully
so
towed it.
it's a very technical course,
Yeah.
and for the elite, and same with the women, right? Like it's going to be awesome this year. But I think just for the nufties like me, you're not. You've won it a bunch of times, but for me and all the other punters that go over there, it's just a great week. That's what we've tried to do by building it. You and I got the idea of this race week from actually the Hood River, which is just, again, a wonderful event. And I think, you know, if you're a paddler, you want to win a world championship. You want to win maybe a Hood River, maybe, you know, but you want to win a Doctor. Like it's one of the ones where you want to place in it or you want to compete in it. Like you just want to compete in it, you know, like that's what it's all about. But this year will be great. You know, you guys do a great job. You, Yander, and the team do a fantastic job putting it all in, putting it all together. We got the easy part. We just put some money in, which obviously helps, makes a difference, get it. But, you know, it's a big week. It's a big effort, but it's bloody good fun and some great restaurants, great food, great wine. The Saffers are coming over again to sort of, you know, take on the Aussies. It'll be a great rivalry. You know, Hank and the crew, there's some great females coming out as well from South Africa. It's going to be a great week.
Yeah, fantastic. Looking forward to it.
All right, well done. Thanks, mate.
Thank you. Thanks,
See you
Earl.
soon. Bye.